Lana with Lana Design for Spellbinders, and welcome to BetterPress of the Month Club for the month of August. Look at this fabulous plate that Spellbinders just released. I think it's just absolutely stunning with a lot of details. Now, aside from this plate, I'm also going to be using this 3D embossing folder that you had a chance to see in my previous video. If you have not seen it, I will link the video down below or somewhere up here, something like that, so you can refer to that video and see how I actually used it. Today, I'm going to be focusing on this beautiful BetterPress plate, and this plate also comes with 3 fabulous sentiments that also have coordinating dies. So this is what you are going to be getting in your BetterPress kit. And now let's not waste time and let's start creating. So I have already prepared my surface here and pre-cut my card base as well as my card panel. The inks that I am going to be using are tumbled glass, salvage patina, and peacock feathers. What I am using here is Altenew Sticky Matte. This is a great tool to have in your craft room. If you like ink blending and stenciling, trust me, you would want to have this phenomenal sticky matte. This sticky matte is made out of photopolymer, which is exactly the same material as your clear stamps, and it should be treated as such. It is a very good quality matte and it will last you for a very long time. Now, the reason I have that silicone matte underneath is because my sticky matte has a protective acetate on the back. I did not remove that acetate because I have a cat and I simply want to keep it as clean as possible and free of hair. So having this matte on the bottom is absolutely perfect because it grips on it so well and it does not slide. Now, for all of you who are here the very first time, welcome. It is a pleasure to have you here. Please consider subscribing, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I always love to interact with my viewers, and I am always here to help with any questions that you may have. I am going to just now finish my ink blending here, clean up behind me, and prepare for the next step. And what is our next step? Well, I have already pre-made card bases and card panels. As you can see, this panel blended so well. Love the colors. And this other card is just navy cardstock, simple and easy. Now I'm just going to attach this with some removable adhesive and position it on my card panel, just like so. Next, I'm going to use a circle die that is actually enough to cover the entire BetterPress plate, and I am going to die cut the center of both of my panels here. I'm gonna put this through the die cutting machine and I'll be right back. And now my panels are all done and nicely cut, and the next step is dry embossing. I'm using the same 3D embossing folder from the Spellbinders August Club. Once the embossing is done, I'm going to use this cool gel pen and color in all these beautiful fish and bubbles. I'm going to continue on coloring this and I will be back with the finished results. Now take a look at these panels. They're absolutely adorable. And I love the shine of that gold gel pen. Now, I have to admit something to you. My foiling, they did not work well with the choice of paper that I had for this project. So that really was beyond save, and I just gave up on foiling. So I decided to cut out a couple of cardstocks here. This is BetterPress paper from Spellbinders. It's a cotton paper and it's meant for BetterPress, and I am going to do some heat embossing. You can most definitely heat emboss with BetterPress plates. Just make sure that your plate is nicely saturated with sticky ink. Aside from that, you want to make sure that your paper is free of any oils, sticky fingerprints, and static. And please use loads and loads of anti-static powder, or in my case here, baby powder. Yes, baby powder. This is a simple Dollar Tree baby powder that I use for my heat embossing. It works like a charm. Next, I'm going to use just some piece of inexpensive paper and pour that embossing powder all over my panel. And let's see, you can see that I didn't necessarily get that best impression. I'm gonna cover it with that embossing powder one more time. Now, as you can see, this wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best impression either. When it comes to heat embossing and BetterPress plates, you gotta be very specific to which paper you're using. And honestly, it is a gamble. Now, after I was done embossing, it really didn't look that bad. I don't necessarily hate it, but I don't love it. But at this point, this is what I'm going to go with. I don't want to waste any more time on this card. Now, this could also be the embossing powder. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's your paper or the plate or ink that you're using. So I'm going to try this one more time with gold. Now, this powder is much finer and it will probably melt much better. So I am again covering my paper with that embossing powder. Let's shake off the excess and look at that impression. So much better. So this really makes me think that could have been the embossing powder. So if you at first do not get good impression, that could also be the embossing powder. Now take a look at that impression. It is so much better. So as you can see in my case, it was definitely the embossing powder. And that is done. Look how cool that looks. And let me show you real quick. Look how beautiful that is going to look together. I love this combination. I think this combination is absolutely perfect. Next thing, what I am going to do is create some sentiments, clean up this mess, and I'll be right back. And here we are, almost at the assembly phase. What I'm going to do is cut two strips that are 4 inches by 1.5 inches. Next, I'm going to get my scoring board and a bone folder. I'm going to score at 1, 2, and 3 inch mark and simply reinforce the folds just like so. And this is what's going to be our pop-up mechanism. I also cut 2 little tiny strips of acetate, and this is going to be a little thing that's going to hold my sentiments in place. I first attach the acetate strips with some double-sided tape and trim off the excess, then peel off the backing, add some liquid adhesive to the back of the panel, and carefully attach it to the card base, just like so. Next, I'm going to take that little mechanism. At this very moment, I realized that I made a mistake. So my panel was cut way too short. As you can see, that piece there is supposed to be much bigger so it can hold that mechanism. Yes, I trimmed my panel way too short, and I'm going to try to adhere it the best that I can. As you can see, there's not a lot of paper there left to hold that mechanism, but there's still some left. Now, this particular idea that I'm using here is from, I am not sure who the designer of this is particularly and where this idea comes from, but I saw it on Pink Fresh Studio platform. It was one of their shorts on YouTube, and I really like the idea. I wanted to recreate it and do something similar. I will try to find that link and I will link it down below. So again, I did make a mistake, but at this point, I honestly did not want to give up. I just kept on building my cards and hoping for the best. I allowed the glue to set nicely, and as you can see, it still pulls that mechanism. It is okay, but again, it would have been much better if I had more of that panel actually be attached to that mechanism. It does work. Again, it's a great concept, but next time I will try to make it a little bit different. Next, I'm going to add some glue, and you gotta be careful. You gotta put glue only on the bottom part of that mechanism and attach your circle or whatever shape that you have that it's popping up. And that's it. Just allow that glue to set nicely and you are done. Look how cool that looks. I really like this concept. Just please don't make the same mistake as I did. Leave a little more space there and I guarantee your card is going to look amazing. And next, I sandwiched that acetate strip between 2 sentiments, or I should say a sentiment and the backing of the sentiment. So I used just plain cardstock and die cut the same shape of a sentiment. That way my sentiment is going to be nicely secure on that acetate. And I did the same thing to the other card. As you can see, it does work. The mechanism works great. Again, just don't make the same mistake as I did. And here we are at the end of today's video. Even though this project gave me so much issues, and that was probably a sign for me to stop creating and start fresh, regardless of all of that, I still like how this turned out. Look how cool this is. It is always fun to try something new, push those creative boundaries, and create something of your own. Even though I did not necessarily follow the instructions completely, it still turned out all right. I hope you get to learn something with me here today. Now, my suggestion is if you decide to create something like this, make sure your card is a little bit bigger or your die cuts are smaller. That way, your opening there is going to be much nicer. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Spellbinders for sending me these things to play with every single month, to create something new and learn alongside with you. Everything that I use today is listed down below, and if there is something missing, let me know. There will be another video coming out very soon, and if you guessed that video is with wax seal gloves. Yes, you got that right. That one is going to be awesome because wax seals are something that I love doing. So stay tuned for more. Make sure you like and subscribe and click that bell button so you don't miss anything new. And that is all for today. Thank you all for being here, taking the time to come and see me and spend some time crafting with me. Have a fabulous, happy crafting day, and I will see you soon with something new. Bye-bye.